A white American playing a white Australian playing a black American.
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
Huh?
Or a human playing a wizard.
And I said to him, you are aware that I am not really a wizard? And he said, yes, I am aware of that.
Acting is all about becoming someone else, but some transformations are more contentious than others. British actor Eddie Redmayne's portrayal of a trans woman in 2015's The Danish Girl made him a star.
I believe that I'm a woman. And I believe it too.
But Redmayne this week voiced regret over his breakout role, saying,
I made that film with the best intentions, but I think it was a mistake.
He now feels he took an opportunity away from a deserving trans actor.
Many people don't have a chair at the table. There must be a levelling.
For trans entertainer Jordan Raskopoulos, the comments are better late than never.
It's not surprising to see Eddie Redmayne have regrets over playing that role, considering where the conversation has moved to today. Quite often the best person for the role is someone who has a lived experience or someone who embodies the character that we're seeing on screen.
For any marginalised, misunderstood community, representation is precious. RJ Mitty simply didn't see people like him on TV until he scored the role of a lifetime on Breaking Bad.
And really the breakdown for the character was dark hair, big eyebrows and mild cerebral palsy. That was my life, except for the methamphetamine.
But the do's and don'ts of representation can get pretty murky pretty quick. Like Redmayne, Packed to the Rafters star Hugh Sheridan was also cast in a trans role. Sheridan, who is non-binary, was set to star in a stage production of Hedwig and the Angry Inch last year.
I have tried singing once and they threw tomatoes.
But that casting decision came in for fierce criticism from parts of the LGBTQIA+ community. The production postponed, and Sheridan left shaken by the experience.
I went into a very, very dark place. I put the people I love through hell.
But for actor Diane Shapansky, one of the authors of an open letter criticising the decision, it was never really about Hugh.
I wasn't super aware of, who Hugh Sheridan was. And so the point of the open letter was to create discussion through the industry, because it's all very well to, tell trans actors, well, go audition for stuff, but you can't go audition for stuff if you're not being invited into the room.
I am a transgender rock singer who lives blocks away from the Enmore Theatre and didn't get a call to audition for Hedwig.
Whether anyone can ever truly walk in another's shoes is a difficult question. But whose stories we tell and who gets to tell them can be life-changing.
The real issue is that trans actors and many actors from minority or oppressed backgrounds aren't getting opportunities to even play themselves. I would love to live in a world one day where anybody can play anybody. That would be really tops, because it means I might get some work.
Wow. First of all, I can say absolutely hire and cast Jordan in anything because she's incredible.
Yeah.
This is I don't even know where to start. It's a huge, complicated thing, and I don't know that I'm the right person to even have sort of an opinion on it, other than the fact that I do work in the industry. What I would say is, with the Eddie Redmayne thing in particular, I think it is always a good thing that people are interrogating their decisions more and maybe looking at all of these things in a way of going, how can I be better and do better, so there is more inclusion and more people telling their own stories on screen. But it is not a case-by-case basis, but kind of, I think it's more complicated than there being a rule in place, and who would even do that?
Yeah, you're right. It's hard to say it's black and white. Jordan makes a really good point, though. When you're casting, you are looking for an actor to bring some authenticity to it. That's what you want, the performance to feel authentic. So I guess a really good way of achieving that is to cast a person who's lived that experience. I guess it's tricky because we want more diversity and representation on screen, and there's also the art of acting, which, what does it mean for the art of acting? Are actors then playing versions of themselves? So I think that's the tricky part of it.
Yeah, I think the thing is, it's got different categories will have different logics to them, right? So maybe we're confusing two things. There's the question of who's the best to portray it. So are we having an argument about artistic expression and performance, Or are we having an argument that's really about, jobs, right? And it's more of a sort of protectionist or affirmative action thing where it's like...
A representation.
Carve this... Well, it's not even representation only because representation is kind of in the character as well as the actor, but it's more like, I can't get any other jobs, so don't deny me these jobs, right? I feel like we need to keep them actually as separate conversations because they're quite different. But some categories where it works. So I would think, whether someone is themselves straight or gay, the character they are playing, people have been playing across those things for a very long time, and it's not a visual thing. It's not like race, where it's a totally different situation. So I would hate us to get to a situation where it's just so sledgehammer that we do what you're talking about, where it gets so confined that no one can play anything really. Whatever the conversation is, it has to be much more nuanced than that. I think.
The conversation has to keep going.
Absolutely.